I kind of been going through a period of time in life where in a lot of areas, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm starting over. And I went through a period of depression about this. A loss of identity, a loss of value, a loss of purpose, so much of a loss, which is kind of ironic for me in the sense that I've always been the guy that preached there's no such thing as a loss. And it's true. And again, like I said, these videos are therapy for me. And at some point I lost that, and I lost the therapy element of it because I started making videos to make videos instead of making videos to talk about what I want to talk about and to coach myself, which is what I'm doing now. I still do believe that there's no such thing as a loss. That loss comes from attachment. And as you let go of things and hold on to things loosely and don't have attachments to things, you cannot suffer loss. Also, when you have the viewpoint and you realize in life that everything is borrowed, nothing belongs to you. Nothing is yours. It is just on lend to you, and everything must be returned. It helps you to realize that there is no loss. Also to account things as already as lost, to count them as already destroyed or gone. It's not a pessimistic viewpoint, but it's sort of coming to realization of the things, because eventually you're going to die. Eventually I'm going to die. We will suffer loss. It is true. It is inevitable, the ultimate loss. And if we can come to terms with that already, with everything, including our money, including our health and fitness and all these things, then they aren't a loss because we don't view them in that way. We view them as something temporary that we borrow, that we held on to, that we got to experience as opposed to something that we lost, because you can only view something as a loss if you feel like you own it. And if you don't own something, if it's just lent to you, just you rent a rental car, you don't think, oh, I lost that car. No, you gave it back. There's a big difference. So what I'm getting at here is this idea that sometimes starting over can be a really good thing. And like I said, I went through some depression about this, and because I saw things as a loss, and I had to stop viewing things as a loss and start viewing them as, here's a fresh new start. Here's a chance to succeed again, to build back up from the beginning. And I'll tell you a story about this, that kind of one of my first experiences in going through this. I remember there was a time I was playing online poker a lot. I guess this was probably about maybe 11 or 12 years ago. And I wanted to be a professional poker player, and I had the skills to do it. I was doing pretty good for a while, but I got into this kind of comfort zone where, I was doing really well, and I got to this point where I just wanted to win. And so I started playing more like an idiot, not playing as strict, and I had a lot of money coming in, so the money wasn't a big deal. And I got to this point somehow from being a winning poker player to a person who was putting $500 each month onto their account. And I kept on justifying in my head. I kept on saying, whatever, it's fine. I'm going to get back there. I'll start playing smart again, after this 500, after that 500. Finally I get to this point where I was like, you know what, John, this is some BS that you're on here. The only way that you're going to fix this problem is if you stop and you just start over from the beginning. There's no more money coming onto this account. So at that point, when I made this decision in my head, I think I literally had on my account, I think I had 20 cents. And I said, no, you're going to need to play with this 20 cents. You're not putting any more money into this account at all. If you want to play poker, then you're going to have to play with the 20 cents. And at that time, they had 1 cent, 2 cent games in poker. And I was used to playing with hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, some tournaments I was entering and winning. But I had to just force myself to play 1 cent, 2 cent. And there was some liberation in doing this, because here I was, I had already accomplished so many things, but here I was starting over from the ground, and I got a chance to rebuild my entire game and to really to start over with a 0 score. Eventually what ended up happening was I played really good, played really conservative, read a lot of books on poker, really improved my game. And I got to the point where I worked my way up till I had about $10,000 on my poker account. And that was awesome. So the whole point of that was that, and sometimes in life, it seems like a bad thing when you have to start over, when you get wiped out, when a business fails, when a relationship fails, when you have these big life changes, and it's almost like you're starting over from the ground. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a new opportunity. You can view this as a chance to start over new, to build something brand new. I think almost like if you lost all your money, it's okay, well, now you don't have anything to lose. So now you can just go in full in, and you can just put everything into it and then see where you can take things. You can take the lessons that you've learned before. I've experienced the same thing when I first started Bulldog Mindset. I remember because I had grown my other company, Simple Programmer, to a really large company. We were doing like 50, 60,000. I think some months we were doing $70,000 a month revenue. And it started to go down and I started to not really be interested in that company anymore. And I started over with Bulldog Mindset fresh. And I remember the first couple of months of Bulldog Mindset, I only made like $1,000. But I was excited about that $1,000, even though this other company was making $50,000, $60,000, because that was my baby. Like I started this brand new thing and I was able to take all the knowledge and experience I had from this previous company and apply it. And so there's some value in that. And that's kind of in the place where I'm at right now. I've got all of these things that I've done. And some of them you could view it as kind of a loss, or you could say, look, here's a chance to start over new. Here's a chance to rebuild, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this YouTube channel again. I'm excited about creating the kind of content that I want to create and talking about things I want to talk about instead of trying to play this stupid algorithm game anymore. And we'll see what happens with this. And so if you're in this place where you're at a fresh start in life, where things have gone downhill, it's not a bad thing. It really is not a bad thing. Think about it. Think about how can you now use this as an opportunity to reset the scoreboard? It's a fresh, clean slate. What can you do from here on out? How can you grow from here on out? What kind of victories and wins can you get now that are going to be the new thing that you're creating instead of comparing it to the old? And it could be even as simple as getting injured. A lot of you got injured, you had a really good physique, you got fat, whatever. I've done this before too, and it's exciting. Now we're starting a new thing. We're starting a weight loss journey. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see how quickly we can do this. Let's see how effectively we can do this. I had a lot of muscle and now I lost it. Now I'm gonna build it up again. Let's go through that because it's fun. It's interesting if you make it fun. You just gotta change the way that you view things, and then starting over becomes a good thing instead of a bad thing.